You're now listening to the 1130 podcast. Enjoy the show.
Nasty, hateful, insane nation that ever existed.
Yo, what do you do, everybody? It's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels. I'm back at it again, you guys, man. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the 1130 podcast. What's good, everybody going out there? Appreciate everyone tuning in, man. I'm excited, glad to be back here. Appreciate everyone tuning in on YouTube. If you're new to the show, you're new to the podcast, definitely hit that subscribe button down below. Like it, leave a comment, and share it. Do all that great stuff, and don't forget to follow the 1130 podcast on all social media platforms. But you guys, like I said, man, it's time for the show, man. It's not 7:30, it's 11:30. You know what time it is. Got a cool guest that's joining me this week here on the podcast show. My guy, Ollie Mac, man. He's the host of Conversations with Ollie Mac. We're going to be chopping it up with him, dope black entrepreneur and everything, man. So we ain't going to waste no more time. We're going to get into it, bring on my dope guest. Ollie, what's going on with you? How's everything?
What's going on, man? I'm feeling fantastic. So everything is lovely. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, I appreciate you, man, taking the invite, coming on the 1130 podcast, man. How life treating you?
Life is good. I have no complaints. I could complain, but someone is worse off than me. But life is good.
Yeah, life is definitely good, man. People got worse off situations, so you got to find the good in just waking up and just being, blessed and being happy. So
yes,
hey, I appreciate that. That's dope. That's really dope. Well, once again, appreciate you taking the invite, coming on here on the 1130 podcast show. For my listeners and viewers, man, tell everyone about yourself. This is your first time here on the 1130 podcast, so what was yours?
Yeah, so what's up, everybody? I'm Ollie Mac. I'm the host, creator, founder, producer of Conversations with Ollie Mac podcast. That's on several podcast platforms, Anchor, Spotify, Google, Apple, and some other stuff that I can't name right now. But I've been podcasting for 3 years. The show is about new, bold, and relevant conversations. And sometimes those conversations just take place by myself, and I'm talking about different issues that affect the Black community and other things that I find interesting, including education, criminal justice, music, and sports. I'm in season 5. I'm married. Been married for like 16 years and still serving in the military, going on 21 years right now. So life is good. Oh, and I got 4 kids too.
Hey, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. I got a little one right here. He's sitting right here watching me do the podcast. 9 months. So hey, I'm a new dad. Yeah, you said you've been podcasting for 3 years and stuff. What got you into podcasting?
So at the time I was living in Illinois, and I think I had like an hour drive to work. So I would listen to different podcasts. And during the pandemic, Illinois was one of the first states to shut down everything. So sitting at home, I didn't have anything to do. I was talking to my wife. She encouraged me, and one of my homeboys named Wes Walker, he started a podcast, and he said, you know what, just go ahead and do it. So I went ahead and did it, and now I'm in season 5. Got about 76 episodes. So I'm glad that I started it. So it's been doing good.
Hey, that's what's up. That's pretty dope. So a car ride and just different to so many different podcasters. I got it though. That's dope. But also you mentioned that you're still in the military as well, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How long you been in the military, and how are you balancing, being a podcaster and also being a dad of 4 and still being in the military as well?
So yeah, that's a good question. Earlier this month, it made 21 years that I've been in the Army. Go Army.
Yeah, go Army. Thank you for your service as well. Thank you for your service as well.
I appreciate that. So balancing that with the 4 kids, my oldest is 24 and the youngest is 15. So they pretty much don't have time for me anyway. But just making the time, I balance it around my schedule. I'm an instructor right now, so when I don't have a class, I'm researching and then I'm podcasting. So when I don't podcast, that's when the season is over. And then I started up again. Usually I start around either September or January. So it just depends. So that's how I find my balance in
Okay.
doing it.
Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. How long? But you say you've been in the military for over 20 something years. What led you to the military?
So I always wanted to be in the military. At first, I wanted to be a Marine. My
Okay.
cousin was in the Marines. He retired after 30 something years. And what drew me to the military was the uniform, the discipline, paying for college, and I wanted to get out of my hometown in Georgia. So the military was the quickest way to get out of my hometown. I grew up in a rural town in Georgia, so I wanted to see the world. Haven't
Okay.
really seen the world, but I've been to a lot of places and met a lot of people. So
Okay.
it gives you a different perspective on a lot of things.
Okay. What do you sort of take out of the military world that you've been in for so long and plus 20 plus years that you sort of kind of like use on a daily basis, or something that you basically learn in the military that kind of like is your main staple? But you hear so many stories. I have family members. I have an aunt who served in the military for so many years and stuff like that. And the one other guest that I had they said, they wanted to travel the world, and that's the reason why they, got in the military. And a couple of them was just like, well, I was just looking for, job, and nothing literally came around, so the military
Right.
sort of, fell in my lap. So, yeah. So, what did you learn from the military, and sort of, you've been there for 20 years? What kind of like keep you there in a way?
Well, I like what I do. Um, the the benefits are amazing because I initially joined for college, and I got my bachelor's degree. Well, I got an associate's and a bachelor's degree while still serving, and just meeting different people from different backgrounds, and you know, learning different things. I'm not the same person I was 20 years ago, so my perspectives on life, on politics, just on anything is different than what it was 20 years ago. So that's what I appreciate about the military, the diversity of it. So I mean,
Okay.
I've met a lot of people, still in contact with those people over 20 years. So it's been great.
Okay. Hey, that's dope. That's dope. Great experience in the military. Once again, appreciate you saying that story. And also, once again, thank you for your service, though. I talked about it in the beginning of the podcast, your podcast, Conversations with Ollie Mac. And, I was just listening to some couple of episodes, and I thought it was great. And I talked about this um, once before with another guest, and but not too many times on the podcast. But I definitely like pushing the envelope. But one episode, and it's a series of episodes actually, recently of your podcast, the misunderstood, misinformation of woke. And I want to know if you can share that with my listeners, because I think the misinformation of woke is not very clear. So yeah, can you speak on that?
So I actually came up with that topic. It's the miseducation of woke.
Miseducation. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's all
Yes.
good. But I'm glad you said the misinformation as well, because you have a lot of misinformation and disinformation when it comes to the term woke. And it really didn't come. I guess I sit around the house and think about a lot of things, watching my Twitter handle, looking at the news, and how both political parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, have used the term woke to push their agenda. And it's also has been creeping into the military as well, with some of the rules that have been changed across the military branches, including with the females and their hair. Not and they call it the woke agenda, but really it's not the woke agenda. If you ask someone that doesn't look like me or you, how do they define woke? 99% of the time, they can't tell you what woke is.
Wokeness is a virus. It's infectious. It destroys your brain.
The wokeness is very potent.
This woke
mindset virus.
The wokeness, this is all we should be talking about.
The woke monster is here, and it's coming for everything.
The American Medical Association has gone woke.
Professional sports have gone fully woke.
American Boy Scouts are the next to go woke.
Walmart is going woke.
M&M's going woke.
Minnie Bell's going woke. Now the Army is going woke.
Plus, guess who's going woke? The Muppets.
And finally, your autocorrect now going woke.
Would you mind defining woke? Because it's come up a couple times and I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Woke is sort of the idea that this is going to be one of those moments that goes viral. I mean, woke is something that's very hard to define, and we've spent an entire chapter defining it. It is sort of the understanding that we need to totally reimagine and redo society in order to create hierarchies of oppression. It's hard to explain in a 15-second sound.
Wokeism.
Wokeification.
Wokify.
The hyper woke, uber woke,
The ultra woke.
The wokerati. The wokers.
The woke folks.
the woketopians.
Those wokesters.
Wokeaholics.
Wokeristas.
Woke.
Super wokeness.
They're all extreme. They've all been infected by the woke virus.
Woke critics on Rotten Tomatoes.
Woke lady superheroes.
Woke celebrities.
Woke universities.
Woke indoctrination.
Woke corporations.
So I decided, you know what, since we have a lot of videos on YouTube that's talking about woke and woke ideology, saying that it's linked to Marxism and fascism and communism and socialism and all the other isms, I was like, you know what, let me just do a series on the miseducation of woke and different topics that fall within the line of what people call woke. So that was the basis of it. I want people to be informed so that they can make their own decisions, not make decisions based off of Fox News, CNN, MSNBC. You know, have your own intellectual autonomy when it comes to things that are being blasted in front of us.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I definitely agree. When I seen a couple of videos, especially on TikTok, about certain politicians and Democrats or Republicans using the word woke, like how you used it in a certain different term than what you would normally hear. Someone would say, oh, you're not woke about certain situations, but not how they use it. So what's the right information, or not necessarily right information, but what's the information that you will share of the woke that is being misinformed also by the news?
So if you just look at the standard definition of woke pretty much means being awake. You're not asleep. That is like the basic definition of woke. But if you do your research, I can't think of the guy's name. He actually wrote an article in the New York Times, I want to say back in the 60s, talking about woke way before it started coming out. And we saw it when George Floyd was killed. But he was saying that a lot of words that we use in the black community, because that's where it started at, in the black community, is often changed when white people get it, and it's demonized or used as a weapon to push a certain agenda. Now, I love all my white brothers and sisters, and it's not all of them, but a majority of the uninformed white, poor evangelical folks would, how can you say it, jump on the bandwagon of saying woke is wrong, when it's just basically being aware of what's going on around you, socially aware. So that's pretty much what it is.
You're right. You think people are not totally aware of what's really going on in the world, or are really woke?
You know what? I think people are, but there comes that denial. Like, nah, this really can't be happening.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's not happening to me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it may not be happening to you, but it's happening to someone else. Mm-hmm. And I realized that after living in Illinois for 9 years, growing up in the South with the Civil Rights Movement, you always heard about how the South and Jim Crow laws and all the black codes, it was horrible. But after living in Illinois for 9 years, Illinois is one of the most segregated states in the United States of America. So I wasn't woke to that because, you know, a lot of my ancestors, some of my relatives left the South and moved what they considered north for better opportunities, called the Great Migration. And they went there, worked in the factories in Detroit, in Chicago, but the same thing that was happening in the South, it was happening there, but not on a scale where it was on national TV.
Yeah, you're right. You're definitely right, man. I think is a lot of misinformation, and just how you said it too. When our community, the black community, come up with something hippie or something that's trending, you'll see the white folks to try to take it and spend it and put their own version on it. Like, what's going on? Come on, man. Like, we can't have nothing to ourselves though. Like,
Right, right.
I don't understand that though. But I definitely dig it though. But yeah, I think a lot of people are just not, necessarily maybe woke onto, what's really going on. I mean, necessarily like it's 2023, and I, use the word necessarily like woke, basically, you got to get with the program. You got to wake up and get with the program because times are flying and time ain't gonna wait for nobody. So you gotta get with it and like follow your dreams and just get whatever. I know what I'm trying to say though, but I'm all tongue tied and stuff. So
It's all good.
yeah. But yeah, we're gonna move on, you guys. Here on the podcast though. But your show we were talking about Ollie Mac and stuff. When new episodes drop and when people can catch it.
So you can catch new episodes every Thursday. So as of right now, I'm still doing the series, The Miseducation of Woke. The last episode I did was The Miseducation of Woke. I want to say part 6, Critical Race Theory 2. So in that episode, I talk about the guy that was considered the founding father of critical race theory. Another word you'll hear within the media. As a matter of fact, some states are banning books because they say it's teaching kids critical race theory. And if you actually do the research into critical race theory, you'll know that that's a lie from the pits of hell. So, yeah, so that's the last episode. My next episode I'll be dropping should be this Thursday. It's titled The Miseducation of Woke, Part 7. And the subtopic will be code switching. Code switching. And if you know anything about code switching, we have to do that on a daily basis. And it's usually dealing with the language that we speak. And if you can remember when your mother or your father was paying bills back in the day, talking on the phone, they switched their language so that it can sound a lot more professional than how they talk to you or to their friends. So code switching.
I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about, though. But hey, that's dope, man. That's dope. All the links will be down below for everyone who want to check out and definitely go check out Conversations with Ollie Mac and definitely make sure you subscribe. You just mentioned one thing and how the system trying to take away books in the schools and how you feel about what's going on within the Black community within itself and how we sort of progressing, but there's always something there to sort of try to hold us back.
I think oftentimes we put our trust in politicians that say that they have our back, and we know that they don't have our back. They only come into the community when it's time to get votes, and most of the time, as a Black community, we are very religious, so they come to churches. And that's one thing I cannot stand. However, I think with a lot of the grassroots organizations that are sprouting up and that are still in existence, I think we are being informed better. We are doing our own research and challenging those that have been in office for several years or decades and challenging them, asking them what are they doing to advance the goals of the Black community. And I'm gonna say this: oftentimes we know that politicians work for the entire country, district, or whatever, not just Black folks. But if you look at history, I say from the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation and Reconstruction to the end of Reconstruction and post-Reconstruction, Jim Crow, Black codes to the Civil Rights Movement, we have always been at the forefront of freedom and trying to make sure that not only Black folks, but everybody that's been marginalized is treated fairly and has that same equality that the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution state. But at some point, we have to look at when does it only apply to Black folks? And then I'm not talking about people of color. People of color and Black folks, in my opinion, are two different things. So I think at some point we have to look at when is it going to benefit us? It has benefited everybody else. Everybody else has received their reparations. So when is it going to benefit us? And mostly, how are we going to take charge? How are we going to bring up the next generation to not be quiet, to stand up for what you believe in and everything like that? So I think we're making headway. You see a lot of our old civil rights activists, they're getting old, they're dying, so we got to step up.
Okay. And one thing came to my mind when you just said that about the next generation and just teaching them, to just believe in some things. And one thing that I want to, definitely pass on to my son is just, believe in yourself, and also to teach him to just want to create something on his own, because we in the Black community, we got so many, we get all these other uh race and ethnicity in our neighborhoods, and we don't really have no Black owned stores, so they all just different. So everything is, the price go up, and just basically I want to stay woke to create something of your own, and give back to the Black community, because it's not too many of us that does that. And like you said, the white politicians, once they get your vote, they come in, that's it, and they leave. And so I think we as Black people, we got to come together, and I think we're strong together as united and create something, for us. And I think that's easily said than done, but
I agree.
it gotta happen, So
I definitely
yeah,
agree on that.
yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. Another thing, man. Another thing, Ali, you mentioned your dad of four kids, right?
Yes.
How do you balance being a father, a Black father in this country, in this world and stuff? And
You know,
also, and also, what some of the challenges you have came across as being
so
a dad?
for me, we're a blended family. My oldest son
Okay.
is 24, so I call him my son, although he's my stepson. So that's my wife's child. And then my oldest is 18. She's a senior in high school from a different relationship. And then me and my wife have two together, a boy and a girl. And he's a junior and she's a freshman. So throughout the years, a lot of people have looked at us like that we made it easy. And let me tell you, it was not easy. I have learned some things being a part of a blended family. I would say one of the most important things to do is to, tell your children things that were not taught to you, and advocate for mental health. I go to therapy. It has helped a lot, and I encourage my kids to go to therapy as well, because one thing about just dudes in general, Black dudes in particular, we don't believe in talking to nobody. We believe in holding it all in, thinking that we can handle it out, and you can't handle it all. And another thing, we believe that prayer will work everything out, and which I agree with that too. But as my mama said, the Lord wouldn't put psychologists and psychiatrists here so they could just stay in the hospital. They're here for a reason. So I say going to therapy, being open, communicating with your kids about some of the issues that they're going through, because it's totally different from what I went through 39 years ago. So just being open and that's what has helped me.
Okay. We'll open you up to freely go to therapy because like you said, we as Black brothers, I talked about it numerous of times, with mental health and how Black brothers always have the stigma of nah man, I'm good, we good, and we hold everything in, and we gotta carry the world on our shoulders, and everything like that. So we'll open you up to go to therapy or just everything. It was just the time for you.
I want to say my last assignment in Illinois really woke me up to going to therapy. That was a difficult assignment. I did learn a lot of things at that place, but I did see that a lot of things haven't changed. And being in the military now, the stigma of going to, we call it mental health or behavioral health, is starting to die down, because I mean, a lot of the kids that were born from 2002 to 2020, they was born in a time when the country was at war, and just seeing a lot of the service members dealing with post-traumatic stress syndrome, traumatic brain injuries, alcoholism, drug use. The suicide rates is very high in the military. So acknowledging that you have a problem and acknowledging that it's okay that you have a problem, and acknowledging that you are not okay, help change that stigma. Also, my wife encouraged me to go. She had been going to therapy for quite some time. I did some sessions with her as well. And I saw how it helped her. Also at therapy and church. Because what we tend to do is use church and Jesus, Allah, whoever you believe in, but we forget that therapy part. So for us, it was going to church, recognizing that it is okay to go to mental health. It's okay for you to take care of your mental health, because for us, you got that mental part, the physical part, and the spiritual part. And then when one is off, you got to go get help for it. So that was it. My wife was a big encouragement for me going to therapy.
Okay. Hey, that's dope. Shout out to wifey though. Definitely shout out to wifey. Because therapy is really important, man. Definitely really important in the Black community, and especially for Black men. And I talked about normalizing normalizing Black men in mental health in general, because especially over the last couple of years, starting with 2020, we all get shut down. A lot of us lose our jobs, can't go to work, can't go to school. We're stuck in the house with the same person for 2 months. Who knows? They've gone crazy. Divorce rates gone through the roof. Inflation gone up. You done sick of your kids going back and forth. The food and gone. So with that on top of what's going on in the news and the politics and just so much stuff, and also with the pandemic, just I think fed up a lot of people, especially in the Black neighborhood, and we're just like, yo man, I gotta definitely talk to someone. And I think mostly spending time in the house with the same person, it was like, let me get a different point of view or something. So I think therapy is not what people make it out to be. I think in the past it was sort of like, oh man, you tripping? No, you good, you good, you straight. So you don't need nobody to talk to. So therapy is definitely big. I talked about parenting. What's one thing that you would like to teach your kids? I know you said your oldest, you said it's 18 right now.
My youngest is 15 and the oldest is 24.
Okay, cool. But what was something that you would like to continue to teach your kids or grandkids, or maybe something that you didn't learn growing up that you would love to teach them?
I would say one thing I would say my parents did talk to me about money with what they knew what to do at that time. But I think one of the things that I need to continue to do is talk to my kids about being financially healthy, what that looks like, and it's okay to be smart and outspoken. because oftentimes, as Black folks, being smart and outspoken is taken it's taken differently. You could be considered arrogant, overly confident, the angry Black man or the angry Black woman when none of that is the case.
Why is that? I was just talking to someone not too long ago about that, because one thing, my mom, if you watching, shout out to mom, no offense, but my mom used to hit me with the, who you getting smart with? And I'd be like, well, mom, not necessarily getting smart. Some people would take that as arrogant, you being disrespectful, something like that. But, you're just giving a legitimate, answer, but it sometimes came out the wrong way. But why is it?
You know what? I did a show on that entitled "The Angry Black Woman." I actually did 2 shows, and it's actually a racial caricature towards Black women. Because if you looked at Martin, the loud one on Martin was Pam. You looked at Good Times, the loud one on Good Times was I think Fiona, whatever her name was.
Yeah.
You look at Sanford and Son, it was the one. Red Fox will always get in an argument with. So it's always been, when you look at women and men, that we have always been over sexualized. We have always been called either lazy, not smart, and I want to say we always speak our mind, and in some circles, we tend to quiet our voice because of those stereotypes that goes back to slavery, which went into Jim Crow and went into those Black codes. We haven't broken those barriers down. So that is why. Even right now, you could ask a lot of just men in general. And I'm going to say specifically Black men have a problem with a lot of Black women in charge. They will call them angry B words, or they don't know what they're doing. And reverse that, if you have a Black man in charge, and this, I've usually seen this with my white counterparts, they're not taken seriously. They think they don't know what they're doing. So one of the things that I do tell my sons and daughters, it's like, hey, don't quiet your voice for anyone. There's a right way to say what you have to say. And if they choose to listen, they choose to listen. If not, you go on about your business. But that's been ingrained in in the United States history. And a lot of people don't want to acknowledge that, but that's what it is.
I like that. I definitely like that. I can definitely see. Yeah, Pam was the loud one on Martin. Yeah, I get what I definitely get what you're saying, man. The angry Black woman, and how it's portrayed and stuff. So I get you. What keeps you motivated and inspired though? What inspires you?
You know what? I read a lot, and with the type of job that I have within the military, I have to be able to set my bias aside to come up with the informed. I say set my bias aside to come up with the informed plan so that the CEO, commander, can make an informed decision. So I guess what keeps me motivated is just looking at things objectively, not getting too emotional when things happen, because this is a media platform. That's what our media is trained to do, to get us to emote without all of the facts. And when people emote, things happen that shouldn't happen. So that's what keeps me motivated. Just looking at things objectively, using my own intellectual autonomy, intellectual humility, and being fair-minded on a lot of things.
Okay, hey, that's cool. I dig it, Ollie, man. Man, we just chopping it up here on the 11:30 podcast. What you like to do on the fun time, man? On the fun time, you in sports or anything?
Hey, so I'm in the sports. I'm a big time Georgia Bulldog fan.
Okay.
Anything that come out of Georgia, go ahead.
Didn't they win a national championship a couple of years ago, like last year?
last year and the year before that. I mean,
yeah.
Georgia finally beat Alabama the first time. That was a great game. And then Georgia this past year beat TCU. That was a beatdown. Even though Ohio State gave it their all during the semifinals, but Georgia is two-time national champions. I root for the Braves. I root for the Hawks. I still root for the Falcons. And I'm a big-time supporter of prime time as well, and all the HBCU sports as well. My family on my mother's side went to FAMU and Bethune-Cookman University, and on my dad's side, got a lot of Savannah State Tigers and Fort Valley State Wildcats. So, you know, I love all sports, even down to hockey. Chicago Blackhawks. Go Blackhawks.
I dig it. That's dope, man. I'm a Ravens fan as far as football goes.
Oh, you're a Ravens fan? Everybody in my house is a Ravens fan. That's my second team.
Yeah, that's my team right there. I'm born and raised Washington, D.C. Most people would think that I would like the Redskins, though, but the Washington Commanders go by. But yeah, growing up, man, I was just like, okay, maybe I'll give them a shot, though. I think when I was only 2 years old, they won the Super Bowl back in 1993. Since then, they ain't done much, though. So, you know, every time they seem like they're going to make it, they'll go 3-0, and then they'll lose the next 5 games or 6 games. The most they ever made it to was like a wild card game, and I'm just going to give up to them. I never was like a diehard football fan, so I think it was just much easier for me to just like, okay, you know what? I rock with the Baltimore Ravens, though, you know, because I visit Baltimore a couple of times, so, you know, I just was like, you know, hey, I dig that, though, but Lakers is my team all day long, though. I don't think they're gonna make it too far in the playoffs, though. But I like them, though. I definitely like them, though. But I'm a big wrestling fan. I'm a big fanatic, though. So that's me all day, though. But I dig it, though. Yeah, the Georgia Bulldogs, though, they did crush TCU last year, like 42 to something, like 40 something.
Yeah, it was. The actual final game was played when Georgia played Ohio State. I mean, even when TCU played Michigan was on their way back, but TCU just pulled it off. So yeah, they beat them pretty bad, man. So shout out to the Horned Frogs. Y'all just can hang with the Bulldogs.
Hey, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Hey, you guys, man, that's dope. We gonna move on. You guys here on the 11:30 podcast show. It's time for the 11:30 podcast hot seat. All right, Ollie, it's time for the hot seat. I got 6 questions. Actually, I got 5 questions for you, and we're gonna roll with it. You ready?
Ready.
Okay, all right. If you make sure I got this question right first. If you could travel anywhere in the world right now, where would you go?
Right now, actually, I would want to go to Ghana.
Ghana, West Africa?
Yes, I actually want to go there.
Oh.
Yeah, I've been looking at some videos on Facebook, you know, how they do the little reels and stuff, and just actually seeing the culture. Because, you know, I don't know I know my family is from Georgia, but actually where are they from? So I just want to go to Ghana just to experience that, the motherland. You know what I mean?
Okay. Hey, that's dope. That's real awesome. Okay. Number 2, if you could teach the next generation something that maybe you didn't learn or so, or you know you would like to learn, what would it be?
How to be efficient, critical thinkers. How to look at things beyond what is presented to you, and then coming up with your own conclusion behind that. Oftentimes we are, even from our parents, not saying what our parents taught us wasn't good, but oftentimes we had questions when we was younger and didn't know how to ask those questions for fear of being punished. So just how to critically think, how to ask those questions that some people may not like. Yeah.
Okay. I dig it. What is your favorite food?
Man, my favorite food that I can't even eat all the time is fried chicken, man.
Oh,
Fried
okay.
chicken.
Wifey can make some bomb fried chicken for you.
Man, she can make some bomb fried chicken, but she don't do it. So yeah, fried chicken. Yeah, fried chicken. That's my favorite.
Okay. Fried chicken. I dig it. Okay. Let's see. The next one is what is your biggest red flag, let's say, in a relationship?
Biggest red flag in a relationship. I get. Let me see. That's a good question. I never thought about that. Biggest red flag. I'll probably say the one upper. That's
Oh,
a
trying
red.
to
Yeah.
always one up you, sort of had the last word and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
That's a
Okay.
because that's a pet peeve of mine. So now when I come in contact with it, I just listen and I'm like, okay, I see where this going.
Oh.
So yeah.
Hey, see where this going, man. For real. Okay. What was the last one? If you could interview any childhood hero, famous or not, on your podcast, who would it be?
Childhood hero. I wouldn't necessarily call him a hero, but there was a big had a big impact within my town. His name was Mr. Marvin E. Lewis Sr. I think senior or junior, but known as M.E. Lewis. He was the first black superintendent in the state of Georgia, and he held that position for, I want to say, 20 to 30 some odd years. Yeah, I would interview him and, ask him those questions on what made him go into education. How did he become superintendent of our town? And I want to say he became superintendent after after the federal government mandated integration. So he was a superintendent for a long time. And since he was the first black one within the state of Georgia, every superintendent after him in my town has been black. So amazing accomplishment.
Hey, that's dope. That's dope. Hey, look at man. You look at speaking into existence. You never know. You might be chatting with him on your podcast. So that's dope. That's real dope. Look at Ollie, man. I appreciate you for coming here on the 1130 podcast show. It's really great having you on, chatting with you. But before you go, any questions, any shout outs, anything you would like to say?
No, well, I appreciate you having me on your show. Doing anything like this takes a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication. Sometimes you want to give up, but for those that are in the podcast live streaming world, don't give up. Keep doing what you're doing. The money may not be there, but as long as your content is great, the money will come. So keep doing what you're doing, and I appreciate you for having me on.
Hey man, I appreciate it. Definitely, I appreciate it. Definitely can't give up, man. Gotta keep going. One thing's for sure: if you give up, man, hey, ain't nothing gonna happen, man. So
Right.
please keep going, man. Look at the future is bright. So look, man, I've been doing this. You said 3 years. December will be 4 years for me. So you just gotta keep pushing at it. Be consistent. Be dedicated. Don't be in it for the money, especially podcasting. If you're gonna start out with it, you might not see no money. You might not see no money jumping off at the start, but down the line definitely would be, unless you're someone famous or something like that. But but yeah, definitely keep going with it, man. Once again, Ollie, appreciate you for coming through here on the 1130 podcast. All the links will be down below to get at my man Ollie, and definitely subscribe and follow Conversations with Ollie Mac. Definitely, you got more of the series of the miseducated. Let me get it right. Miseducated of woke. All the links will be down below. Once again, Ollie Mac, thank you for coming through here on the 1130 podcast. For everyone, sit tight, man. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna wrap up the show. We got the WTF moment and more. Don't move. You're listening and you're watching to the 1130 podcast. You dig?
TV is more than cable for less than cable. More unexpected plot twists.
Ooh.
Less unexpected fees. More committing to new shows.
Ooh.
Less committing to an annual contract. More being held in suspense. Less being held on hold. More modern, more simple, more than cable for less than cable. Try YouTube TV for free.
Yo, we back here on the 11:30 podcast. Appreciate everyone sticking with me throughout the short break. Yo, my guy Ollie Mac, thank you for coming through here on the 11:30 podcast show this week, man. It was a great time chopping it up with you, man, on misinformation, on miseducation, on woke, man, black mental health, just everything, man. Really, really great time having you on. All the links will be down below. Get at them and definitely go check out and subscribe. Conversations with Ollie Mac, the podcast, man, for real, really great, dope conversations, or real conversations, and conversations, we just need to be having in general, and also definitely in the black community, man, for real. Man, it's been an awesome show. Great guest, man. Once again, shout out to my guy Ollie Mac. Before I move on here on the 11:30 podcast, you guys, and we get to the WTF moment, man. An update, podcast update, the future of the podcast, man. I would definitely be going on a break next month, you guys. In a couple of weeks, I will be going on a break. And I will return this fall, man. In July, my son is going to be turning 1 year old. My fiance be like, 1 year? He just turning 1 year. Oh man, Southeast, man. But yeah, I gotta get better. Yeah, man, my son is turning 1, man, and it's gonna be awesome. And taking a break and just try to explore and do some different things. And when the 11th, I got some amazing things. I don't want to speak too much on it though, but amazing things that's coming to the 11:30 podcast show, and talk pro wrestling this fall, man. So man, it's gonna be awesome. So I just want to let you guys know. I want to thank every single guest that have came through since I came back September 28th, and also back from the holiday break. I want to thank everyone who was on the 11:30 podcast, every guest, every supporter, every person who shared the episode, like it, everything, man. I want to thank everyone for major support. I thank you guys, man, for real. But man, yo, this has been an amazing show. But like I said, I definitely will be going on break. Next month, definitely next month. So I will keep you guys updated on all social media platforms when the 11:30 podcast will be back. So definitely check that out though, man, and stay tuned. But you guys, man, we're gonna move on, and before I head on out of here, you guys, it's time for the WTF moment of the week, you guys. Yo, man, WTF moment of the week, man. Yo, check this one out right here, man. For first WT, I got two, man. I got two WTF moments of the week. My first WTF moment, man, it come out of wrestling, man. I was watching Monday Night Raw this past Monday, and not too much exciting stuff, but it was a great Raw, really great Raw. But from Cody Rhodes getting attacked by Brock Lesnar, and all the matches that happened on the show, it was one segment that really stood out to the fullest, man. And it seemed like big time Becky Lynch returned on Monday Night Raw, man. Yes, man. It was a contract signing between Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch. And Trish Stratus was just talking about how this is her first contract signing and how she's excited, and, like, yay. And I'm about to go to Night of Champions and kick Becky Lynch's ass, is all, and all that stuff like that. And a little bit of the promo, I was like, because the fans kept saying, what? What? They kept chanting what and stuff like that. So once she was done, she said what she had to say, and she made her point. Big time Becky Lynch, man, got up there because her and Seth Rollins, man, they definitely probably going into fashion somewhere. I already know Seth Rollins, he's going to be in a movie, I think a Marvel movie that's coming up. So congratulations to Seth Rollins on getting that bid cast for the Marvel movie. But Becky Lynch, man, like they fashion is definitely top notch though. But man, everything Becky Lynch said, man, it was just on fire, bro. And to end it off, like, Trish Stratus, like, yeah, man, like, Becky was saying, you're just mad because I accomplished everything that you did, but I did it better. And the stuff that you did, man, I would have nightmares at. You feel me? And then she mentioned barking like a dog. When Trish Stratus was barking, with Vince McMahon had Trish Stratus barking like a dog here in DC, might I add though. But man, that was an embarrassing moment and a low period that I don't think we want to talk about. And that was WTF. And then she had the nerve to bark at her though. And man, I don't know. Trish Stratus may be great, but boy, her face expression seemed like, really? Did this bitch really just WTF, man? For real. I'm telling you, man, you got to definitely check that out. Also, you guys, another WTF moment, man. Definitely check this out right here.
Scorned wife who crashed into her cheating husband and his mistress at Wavell Heights has narrowly avoided jail. Christy Lee Kennedy caught him kissing another woman after putting a tracking app on his phone.
Her husband broke his vows, but Christy Lee Kennedy broke the law. She crashed into her husband and his mistress while they kissed on a quiet street. Her lawyers insist it wasn't intentional. The 38-year-old drove on the wrong side of the road, revved her engine. She never swerved, but she did brake late. Her BMW ploughed into the couple, throwing them into the air. They were hurt emotionally, psychologically, physically, only just. After the crash, Kennedy got out of her car and went to the woman, not to help her, but to hurt her. She pulled her hair, punched her several times, and then asked her husband if he was okay. He had a dislocated little finger and a bump to the head. Kennedy thought they had a happy life, a house, 2 children. They'd just been on a weekend away. The Crown prosecutor said there was no remorse, but Kennedy emailed her husband afterwards saying, "Hope you are feeling better. Love and miss you lots." She had 15 references, some from the law firm she worked for. She's lost her house. The money she made from the sale of it has been spent on legal fees and compensation. She almost lost her freedom, jailed for 9 months, wholly suspended for a domestic violence offense.
WTF all the way, man. All the way, you guys, man. Just, it's a crazy world we live in, man. Really, really crazy world, crazy times we living in, man. Here in DC, 10-year-old girl was just, doing her own thing, and she was shot by a bullet, and I believe it happened on Mother's Day, and she had just, died not too long ago, and there was a 17-year-old boy who got shot by a school. I'm just like, bro, man, like, we gotta keep our kids safe, man, and tell them we love them, man, and support everything they doing, and our loved ones too, man, because times is short, man, and it's a crazy, crazy world, and whatever you are passionate about and that you love, man, get to it, figure it out, man, and run with it, man, because I'm telling you, your passion will make the way, man. It definitely will make the way. And it's 2023, man. There's so much technology in the world. Is so much advanced to where everybody got a phone and you can make a viral dance or a viral song just from in your living room or your bedroom or whatever. And people's lives are changed dramatically, though. But, man, like, just figure out what you want to do with it, man, and run with it. For real, man. Definitely run with it. Yo, man, this has been a dope episode of the 1130 Podcast Show. Ollie Mac, thank you for coming through here. Thank everyone for tuning in. All the links will be down below so you can get at Ollie and definitely check out Conversations with Ollie Mac, man. For real. Before I head on out of here, don't forget to follow the 1130 Podcast across all social media platforms. That's Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and right here, and surely right here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, follow the 1130 Podcast on Instagram at the 1130 Podcast, and the 1130 Podcast everywhere else, man. Definitely get at me. Definitely hit that subscribe button and tell a friend about the 1130 Podcast, man. It's been a great show. I'm out of here until next time, man. It's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels. Stay safe, stay blessed, give all the glory to God, man. Won't he do it? And I'm out.